Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Engineer Wannabe YouTube channel. My name is Sanjay, and I'm joined by my wonderful friends here. Really honored to have you all here, and honored that you would spend this hour with me, especially the guys in the panel. Um, but yeah, let's get right into it and do some wrist checks. Keith, how are you, sir? It's good to see you.
I'm good.
Good. That's good.
Low
Did you
key
have a
day.
good
I wish I had
weekend?
more to say to that, but it's a low key day.
Yeah, it's
I'm
good.
wearing a new pickup. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
green
oh
green
wow.
1709 burgundy.
wow.
Yeah, just
That's
got this
big.
yesterday.
So what happened? What's the story here?
I don't know if there's much of a story. I wanted it and I bought it.
Yeah. So online, eBay,
eBay,
store?
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not the usual insane Ming prices that the other watches are seeing. I
Yeah.
think there's just more out there for this one.
Great.
So you're paying if you could find the prices. There's a huge range of prices right now. People trying to get a lot for it that they're probably just it's going to sit out there. But you could get around retail for it right now.
Okay.
Sometimes even a little under.
Yeah.
Um,
How much is it?
so I think retail was 2,000 US. So you could get it for around there. And yeah, so
How you
it
feel? I mean, you had to, $2,000
yeah.
on. How
Well,
do you
there was a
feel?
sacrifice for it. The Grand Seiko's gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry about
What?
that.
Not man. Don't make the same mistake I did.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, Torin.
It's budget
Torin,
neutral.
huh?
It's budget neutral.
Yeah, it's pretty budget neutral. Yeah. Um, when Random Rob posted that this person Keith, gave him this Grand Seiko to sell, Torin thought it was me because it was the exact same Grand Seiko I have.
Yeah.
And he's like, Keith, don't sell the
I
watch.
know. I was
And I'm
messaging
like,
you right
no,
after.
no, I'm not
Yeah.
selling it. And then I sold it.
Yeah.
Um,
After multiple attempts.
Yeah, yeah, it was my second attempt. Yeah, people on eBay have a habit of bidding on an item and then not following up and actually paying for it. So it's
Yeah.
all
yeah.
that's what goes with the eBay
Mm.
sales.
That's such a pain.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. All right. Well, Torin, you're up next. How was your weekend?
Not too bad. I got a bit of a chest cold, to be honest, so I might
Oh,
sound a little off.
yeah. Sorry to hear that. How's the baby? Baby's okay?
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah.
She's growing.
Are you isolating from the baby, or is it just
Not
not?
so much. I'm just trying not to cough in her face.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right, so I'm glad you still joined us. But what's on your wrist?
Uh, I've been wearing the Chronomaster.
Yeah,
Mm.
and you just posted a video on that too.
That's true. Yes. If you want to see the review of this guy, check
Yeah.
out the Everyday Watch channel.
Did you change the name of your channel, Everyday Watch channel?
Oh no, it's Everyday Watch guy. It's
Okay,
just
okay. Just
Everyday
making
Watch
sure.
is nice and trendy. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, Mr. Legs. Oh, it's so good to see you, sir.
Yeah,
It's been
man,
so long.
usually Saturday nights are tough,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
uh but no, I'm here. Thanks, man. And I got a Formex
Ah,
Reef
the reef.
GMT that I picked up
Cool.
at the wind up show.
Yeah,
Sorry, the reflection of the light is
yeah,
yeah, I mean, love the class. Micro adjustment on the class.
yeah.
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
And
Yeah.
that's the one that's super adjustable, right? Like you can change the bezel and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, changed the bezel. It's very, very thin for a 1,000 meter, 300-meter diver,
Yeah.
1,000 feet. And I've been eyeing this watch for a while.
Yeah.
And and then I went to wind up and watch time. Was it watch time or wind up? They're
They're both.
both happened at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And Beans was working. Beans from Beans and Bezels was
Yeah.
working behind the desk there at the
Really?
Forum X. Yeah, I think he's got some partnership. He does I mean, he's a very talented photographer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think he does a lot of photographic work for Forum X, I believe. So I could be wrong, but he was wearing one, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm buying. I'm gonna buy it. And
Yeah.
and he thought I was like kidding. He's like, oh yeah, like I think he thought I was gonna eventually buy it. I'm like, no, 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 no. I want it now. I want it, right? So they were able to accommodate, and
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah.
That
Did you
sounds
Pretty
buy
great.
extra bezels? Did you buy extra?
well. So I got the Batman style bezel, and then they threw in the stainless,
Oh,
the
cool.
one I have here. They didn't charge. I mean, like they
They're
threw it
like
in. I mean,
$200, aren't they?
close, right? They're like about
Yeah,
180, something like
yeah.
that. They're not
That's
cheap.
Wow.
cool. That's cool. They threw it in.
Yeah, yeah, and I was bummed. I wanna get the mesh bracelet of this. They're sold out. They don't have any in stock, but I think eventually I'm gonna add that because I really do like the. If you go on their website and you play around with the different configurations, I
Hmm.
really do love the way it looks like on the mesh. And actually, I had something incoming, and I was thinking about trying to make it budget neutral and selling this up. And now I think I found a way to keep this in the collection because it's my only GMT, and I've been grabbing for it more than any other watch the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I must enjoy wearing it.
Yeah, for sure. Proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
I
you
heard about.
say you love the adjustable clasp then?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's not like rocket science,
Hmm.
right? What they did here. I mean, it looks like so it's a little bit hard to tell, right? So there you see it, right? There's a button, but it just basically I think it just moves it like this, right? So it's
Hmm.
not like it's not like an adjustable class, right? So it moves the positioning of these guys here. It's like I said, it's not rocket science, but it's effective
Yeah,
and it works, and it's a pretty decent class.
Nice.
yeah. Sounds great.
Cool.
Wolfie, how are you, sir?
Good evening. Good, good.
It's good to
I'm
see you.
the second thinnest person today
Oh, yeah.
with the pilot.
Wow.
Nice.
How
Yeah,
big is that again?
That's a 45. I think
Okay.
they come in 40. Not this one, I think, or maybe it did. But
Toppers has such a great
like,
deal on one right now, right? It's like
that might
34.
be the best one that they ever made.
Yeah,
No, because
yeah.
Iran has that exact one
Mm-hmm.
with the bronze
Mm-hmm.
and black dial, a very
Yeah,
limited run.
Hmm.
But
yeah,
it just fits that thing, the combination of the little dirty look of the bronze with the black.
yeah.
It, it's great.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's I think 45. I rather would have the 45 size than the 40 size, but I got to try that. I'd have to try it on first just to make sure. But it's a good deal if
Where is
anybody's
he?
interested in
It's
toppers.
not really that. It just, yeah, of course, they look big
Yeah, no, and they're
Mhm.
because
supposed to, and they're supposed to.
exactly it's just
Yeah,
dial,
yeah.
but it's not. It doesn't wear big.
Okay.
It's
Right.
not. I think you can easily do it.
Yeah. Well, now I can't because I got something coming. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about that, Rob, your incoming purchase. But I won't say anything.
yeah, no, we could talk about it later. I mean,
Yeah.
I heard about it too, but it took me hours to find out, and it's so complicated at the moment. So secretive, all these people.
Yeah.
Ah,
Clayton, so good to see you, sir.
Hello. Good to see you.
Still Mr. Babyface here.
Yeah, it's slow to grow back.
Yeah, looking good though.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's the
I'm
weekend?
wearing a loaner, the Ultracron.
Oh
RG
yeah.
Ultracron. Yeah, it's so I did a swap with a friend. Also borrowed the Breitling Pistachio Premier.
Yeah.
like
Do you have that with
contacts.
you?
No, I don't have it down here. I mean, I can
Right.
mute and get it. While somebody's talking. So yeah, it's a great watch. It's a little big and unwieldy. It's the tonneau case. It's 48 lug to lug, which
Yeah.
appears big on this for my wrist. It doesn't hang over or anything, but it's
Right.
I was putting laundry away, which has accumulated for months, and I finally put it away with this on, and I could feel it like flopping around all over the place. I think if this makes sense, like the bracelet articulates and is a little thin, so the watch head sort of tends to wobble, if you
Just
will.
top heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think like on a strap, it'd be totally fine. But the bracelet's so nice, you hate to take it off of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't-
really cool watch.
I personally didn't get that impression when I put it on. I thought it was big, but I have a 6.25 inch wrist
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah.
But I thought I didn't get the feeling that it was too big, but
No,
yeah,
it's not. I didn't notice it because I wore it before I was, doing things with my hands, and that's when I noticed like that it's just kind of moving around a bit. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he
That makes
he
sense actually.
also gave me the NATO strap for it, so I might throw it on there and see how it wears. But no, it's
Yeah.
actually very comfortable. It's not overly heavy and the smooth sweep is just buttery smooth. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can pick it up,
10
but
ticks per second. Oh yeah, you can tell.
yeah.
Yeah. That's such a cool watch. Oh man.
Are there many divers to
We
think?
kind of lost you there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Are there many high beat divers?
There's this one brand that I wasn't allowed to
Yeah, I
mention.
know.
I don't know. I don't think so. Not many.
I was asking some other people earlier, and I thought maybe GS is the only one I could think of that diver.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really it's a great watch. So
Yeah. Great price.
happy.
Too.
Yeah, right.
Let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Here we got Rick. Good to see you, sir. Speaking of unattainable watches, Mr. Unattainable Watch. AZ Clayton, how's it going? We got Bill K, Brownie, how's it going? Wilson, Marcus F, right next to Marcus G. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Neff, how's it going, sir? Hope you're well. Justin, strapped in as always. Wilson, look at this illustrious panel. Yeah. Let's see. There's some congratulations to Keith with the new watch. We got Steve here. We got Cowboy YQG. Walter, good to see you. 911 Dan makes a good point here. Full House. Last week, apparently, Dib had come on, and I didn't see him. I have a feeling it's because I'm using the free StreamYard. And with free StreamYard, you can only have 6 people. So I don't know if backstage gets kind of locked out too, because I don't recall seeing him come in. But so if anyone is trying to come in and I don't see you, that's probably why.
Yeah, that has happened to me before, and
Yeah.
it's usually, you know how you see the people in the backstage, it's
Yeah.
tucked under, like you'd have to scroll the page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains it. Marcus saying, congrats, Keith, on getting the very best Ming. Went downhill from there.
I didn't even expect a congrats for this Ming from Marcus, so I'll take it.
Well, yeah.
I know he's not the biggest Ming fan.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Reinhard. Good to see you. Wayben's here. How's it going, sir? Kevin S. How are you? Rookie mistakes on Grand Seiko. Got Brendan Nelson. How are you, sir? Wearing Zenithify Classic white ceramic. Wow. It's a cool piece. Everyone else, let us know what's on your wrist. Rick is wearing the VC Overseas Dual Time. There you go. Oof. Very cool. Wilson is wearing the wonderful SBG Y009. I'm sorry, Rick. I know I was a bit more enthusiastic about this Grand Seiko than the VC Overseas, but Grand Seiko is my comfort food. Kevin Singh should change it to Torrens watches.
Well, the channel, yeah.
Yeah, you should. You should consider rebranding.
Joey's an intro. And...
yeah. Jim's wearing the Kettlears. Justin's wearing CQ. Very cool. Dream Juggler's wearing the green birch. Whoa. That's very cool.
Is that out?
It's not out here.
I was gonna say, like, how did he get that?
Yeah, let us know how when he got it.
Yeah.
It must just coming out to ADs, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be September and October, but we haven't seen any yet.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Marcus is wearing the Seamaster Tritone. My future watch right there.
I got
Um,
to see the green one today. The
yeah.
my friend who loaned this, and I loaned him a couple, and he bought the CK859 today
Oh,
also.
oh, wow.
Yeah, and he got a discount on it, which is crazy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see why. I mean, it's supposedly discontinued, right? But it seems to be hanging around
right.
dealers, at least in our area.
Both very nice though. The I wasn't sure how I would like that green on the Seamaster. I was not enthralled with it in pictures, but in person, with there was just enough sunlight coming into the restaurant where we had lunch, and it hit it. It looks really nice. Very
Yeah,
subtle otherwise.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it myself as well. Um, I think I missed this Black Bay 58 Blue from Marcus F. James Duffy wearing that really cool Crador GBBE 980. Let's see. I changed the beans before the bezel. I'm gonna skip down here, guys. I know I'm way behind. There you go. Bobby got me last week. Mr. Seiko from Breaking Bad. That's the TV reference, right? I watched Breaking Bad way back in the day. It was the most depressing show I've ever seen, man. Oh,
Oh,
I
have
don't
you
know.
watched the Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix? Now that's depressing and
Is
just
it?
it's yeah. There's not a whole lot. It's not an uplifting show. It's just depressing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of like life, though, right? I mean, it's based on
yeah,
the real Jeffrey Dahmer.
right.
Um, Breaking Bad, though, it was like there were no one to root for, you know. But you
Yeah.
had to keep watching to see what happened. But everyone was the bad guy. I was like, oh. I don't know. Were there any good guys? I mean, that ATF agent was. Okay, I'm gonna stop. This is.
Spoiler alert.
uh, Scrolling right down here. Okay, there we go. Got right down there.
Marcus
Well,
talked about the SLA models that are high beat Seiko divers.
oh
Also,
yes,
so I forgot about those. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the Spring Drive
Yeah.
SNR
Yep.
models.
Uh, just in case you missed it, the Dream Juggler said how he got the Birch. He said he got it in September. It's on online boutique only edition.
Oh, huh.
They didn't say
Would you
that when it was
consider?
released, though.
Yeah, they did not say that when it was released, unless if I'm mistaken. But yeah, congrats, Dream Juggler. Very cool. Um, Kevin saying Sanjay watched Breaking Bad until Todd showed up. Who's Todd? I don't know. Okay. So,
Yeah. So Ozark is the same, right, Rick? Same thing. No redeeming qualities in
Mhm.
anyone.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a great show, though.
Yep.
Dib, good to see you. Oh, sorry. I'm not dissing Breaking Bad. I mean, that's the point of the show, right? To have no good people. And the fact that it was a well-written show was why I couldn't stop watching it until it was over, and then I hated myself for watching it. But yeah, let's talk a bit about watches, unattainable watches here. I was thinking about this last week. Marcus had a great comment talking about how he goes about researching unattainable watches. Sorry, Marcus, that you're not here, but he mentioned that he likes to pretend or picture himself winning the lottery, and that allows for him to, put on really crazy watches and actually try them on rather than saying, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to buy that, so I'm not even going to try it on." Um, so I was kind of curious about what your thoughts were. Everyone on the panel, everyone in the chat as well. How do you do you even, for one, do you fantasize or think about purchasing unattainable watches? If so, what are those watches? We can look them up, and then I was thinking, um, why do you think they're unattainable? And how? Why do you fantasize about them, or think about buying them, or not buying them for that matter? But yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to field the question first, or we can go clockwise like we normally do. Um, Keith, I think you'd have an interesting answer here. Huh? 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 What's
Um, you know, we were talking about if we won the lottery, what watch would they? And if I'm jittery, let me know. I don't know if it's your feed or my feed a little bit, but yeah, we were talking about what watches we would buy if we won the lottery, and I struggled to come up with anything because I just don't pay attention to watches that are super expensive just because I know I'll never buy them, so it's kind of a waste of time for me. Um, there's higher end watches that I've seen, that interest me, like a couple of Mosers, for example. But yeah, I don't even fantasize about the higher end watches.
Yeah,
Do you have a good answer for that, Sanjay? Or maybe you could wait for you. But like, if you won that $2 billion lottery that was going around the U.S., like
yeah.
what would be the first watch you would buy?
Okay. Um. Well,
Before you
my
answer that, can you do a wrist check too?
oh,
Oh yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh yeah.
forgot. I'm wearing my wonderful, totally special, incredible, 34 millimeter Seiko SRP 853.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some might say it's a lady's watch, but I I would disagree. Like, I mean, like, that's not a lady's watch. Look at the size of that thing. It's huge.
It's huge. I beg your pardon.
It's all dial, man. It wears like a 37 millimeter. No, no, it wears like a 34, but I've got a small wrist, so yeah. SRP 853.
It looks very good on you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll wear it in good health. But yeah, so to give an answer on my part, even as a kid, I feel like I've always kind of had this where I've never wanted to. I've never been too ambitious. Maybe that's the whole thing, right? I've never wanted to fantasize about something I can't have. Maybe to avoid the disappointment of it. Maybe I'm just a low risk kind of person, completely ordinary, maybe. But so, like, thinking about cars back before I was into watches, I wouldn't really think about Ferraris or Lamborghinis. I would find those vulgar. I think about the Focus ST, the Honda NSX, those cars that you could, Mazda Miata, cars that you could get, right? Those were the ones I would think of. I wouldn't think of the Pagani Zonda or
Mm-hmm.
any of the other crazy supercars or hypercars. Um, so I think that kind of translated over to watches. Um, but at the same time, I think I've grown a little bit into not thinking that, because I used to think the Grand Seiko Snowflake was unattainable, but clearly I was really naive um, in thinking that. So I moved on. I had the Snowflake for a while, and I have some more expensive pieces now, and so I think my cutoff is probably like Moser Streamliner. Um, what's the Green Dragon? So that's like
Mm-hmm.
my attainability limit. And I feel like even if I won the Powerball, whatever that lottery is, the $2 billion lottery, I would get the Streamliner, and I wouldn't proceed past that. I I
Mm.
I mean I'm this is like for an outsider looking in, right? So I can't even fathom the mindset to get into to start getting, like a Long as work or Paul Weber, Wolfie.
Already it's the same as the Green Dragon.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was like 60, $70,000.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I feel like I can't get my head into that mindset, but I'm sure if I did have $2 billion at that point, maybe things would change, right? I probably would change as a person.
I'd make
Um,
sure it would.
but in the end, I don't play the lottery ever, so I'm never going to win the lottery. So I'm pretty safe in saying that Moser Green Dragon is probably my upper limit. So I would say anything past that is unattainable.
But I mean, that's a good example. You set that limit.
Yes,
if because it fits your collecting goals and what you enjoy. If you
Yeah.
want it, you could go easily way higher. You have equity in what you already own, and you could save up 2, 3, 4 years. So if you wanted to, much more things become attainable.
Yeah. That's
You just
true.
you don't want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's a
that
good point,
applies to
actually.
both of us. I mean, I know Keith hates spending money, but
Is that right?
he could, he
So
could,
painful.
It
so
is
it's
painful.
also his choice. For all of us, it's where we set the limit of what we're going to spend on one piece. It's our own choice for whatever reason how we come up with that number.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So
there's like attainable watches I have trouble,
Mhm.
I would have
Exactly.
trouble spending the money on if I wanted like an Omega or a Rolex or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the best example for what attainable, what kind of levels can be, unattainable by choice.
So Keith, what would be like an unattainable watch in your mind? A Grand Seiko Winter? Would you consider that unattainable at all, or?
no, I mean, there's a lot that would be attainable for me if I was be willing to spend. I don't know.
Well, no,
I
coming from like your mindset, you're
yeah.
unwilling to spend. So
I haven't considered really spending over $5,000 on a watch yet.
yeah,
So although I was close to buying the Winter, which is over $5,000. I don't know.
yeah.
It's just kind of a feeling. I don't know. And it depends on my mood on the day. So
What would happen if, let's say, someone gifts you a 20K piece? Would
I mean,
you
if someone's gonna gift me, yeah, that's a different
would you
story.
sell it because kind of you said it's too much
Hmm,
money for a
that's a
watch
good
and I want
question.
cash, or would you wear it and enjoy it?
I'm thinking, you know what watch I like? It's too big for me, but the Mega Cool for Moser. Um, if like they came out with like a 39, 38 millimeter version of that, and someone gifted it to me, that I have a hard time turning, not wearing that watch. So maybe it depends on the watch.
Easy Clayton saying along Odysseus in white gold. Their qualification requirements are holding me back. My one longer purchase is not enough. Sometimes it's just not funds. It's not just funds. That's a good point too. Sometimes it's just a watch you can't get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a
Tor, yeah. Keith, if were you going to add anything else? I thought you were going to say something there.
No, I was gonna say Marcus is calling me the most sane person on the panel, and I think there's some anxiety that comes along with just stuff for me. So I don't think that's a true statement.
Are
I
you
think,
like that with other things too, besides
yeah,
watches?
yeah, I'm like that with a lot of stuff. So I think if I could relax a little more, maybe maybe I'd be a little more,
and
like other
hanging with
people.
us for probably a year or two didn't help.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Same old Keith, like when I met him, he doesn't want to spend anything. Even with
Yeah.
all of us nut jobs.
Yeah.
The man is
Well,
back.
do you have an answer for that question, Wolfgang? What would you buy if you had the $2 billion lottery?
Of course. I go totally
what
nuts.
is it?
I in the first year I'd buy 50 pieces.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what it might be for me. Not just one massively expensive piece, but maybe a higher number of lesser pieces. I don't know.
That's what I would. I mean, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't spend $1 million or $500,000 on a piece. That makes no sense to me. I
Yeah.
probably I might go up to 100. I'm sure. No, I'm sure I would buy a site work.
Yeah.
Buy a site work date and the site work. No, I would buy multiple site work and the site work date. But I wouldn't probably, most of the stuff, my favorite pieces that I've ever seen are between 100, 200. But if we kind of high ceiling would be 200. Between 100 and 200, you get everything that I consider the coolest pieces ever made. So everything above it, sometimes you see them and it's kind of cool to see them, but just, they don't do anything for me. They're highly complicated minute repeaters. I don't give a beep about minute repeaters. So
Automaton?
I don't know what that is.
Like the Bugatti Chiron engine, Jacob and Co. The moving
No.
parts and
And that's part of it too. That's part of it too for me is I just don't appreciate what I'm getting, at the highest end. So it would be lost on me. Even if I got it, it would be lost on me anyway. So
I mean, it's lost on the people who buy it now.
yeah, that's true.
Right.
So it probably wouldn't be as lost on you as it would be
Yeah, maybe.
someone who buys it just for the sake of buying it. Torin, any thoughts here? What would you consider unattainable?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually think about that too much. I guess instead I kind of track more my progression as a collector. Like, it's funny, my fiance mentions to me, like, when we first started dating, I would say, I'm never spending more than $1,000 on a watch, and then you
Right.
break that threshold, and it's like never spending 2,000, never spending 5,000, and it's kind of escalated. I always thought, and this is gonna sound cliche, but like, if I won the lottery or something, and you know this well, Sanjay, like I have a twin brother. He comes to the AD with us a lot. Never really owned a luxury watch. I would love it if I just like if we went together and like I convinced him to like look at something he wanted, and then like unknowingly I'm like, okay, you're taking that home, and I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And for him, like what his exit watch is right now is it's kind of just like it's like a Tudor Black Bay Pro, or I don't know, like an Omega, like a Seamaster or something like that. So
Yeah. Your brother though, he isn't as into watches as he is into like outdoorsy cycling, biking, right? He's more
yeah,
into that.
I think he's getting more into it though, because like
Yeah.
he enjoys it. He enjoys making the trips to the ADs and stuff. It's just for him, with his income and like his wife's going through school and stuff like that. So he's funneling his money just mainly into one hobby. He can't really branch out right now.
Yeah.
I think he would,
Oh, yeah. Well,
but if
Darren?
money was no object, I would also. There's a couple pieces I'd like to get. Just I kind of romanticize them. Like I always wanted to get a Breguet.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe a tourbillon, because like Breguet is kind of like behind that. There's I can't remember the name of it. It's also a perpetual, I think. Breguet. It's a classic tourbillon in perpetual, and it looks gorgeous. And I think it's rose gold as well.
Breguet Classique Tourbillon?
Yes,
You can look it up.
Breguet Classique Quantime Perpetual 3797, I think.
3797.
Also, the Longa that Wolfie has is like gorgeous. The one I got to try on when he was in Toronto, the Adventuring dial.
But that's another example. You could easily make that happen.
Could I though? I mean, to me, I don't know. I mean, maybe in the future, a couple of years in the future.
You probably could make it happen with just selling what you own now.
It's true. Yeah, if I moved enough pieces, I could maybe make it happen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you don't want to do it. Doesn't mean it's unattainable for you.
It's true. It would be hard, but it would potentially be obtainable. But yeah.
I think there's so many new releases that a lot of not patient enough to do it sometimes. I know I am. I don't want to speak for everyone else. I think it's like so many shiny things come that take our interest and our money, and I fail to see the big picture sometimes if I am saving for something. Like go for the shiny new release.
Yeah, why not?
So, I have a question.
It's worked for me so far.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the point. What's better? Is it better to save up for 3 years and dream about what's going to happen in 3 years, or just enjoy the new releases, the Grand Seikos, the 34mm Seikos, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for Torin. So Torin, you mentioned that your watch collecting like has this kind of keeps escalating. Do you see a like a point where it doesn't keep escalating anymore, or do you think you'll continue on from here for a while?
No, I don't think it can go more than, and it's probably similar to Sanjay. Like a streamliner is probably the top end. Like even getting this, like the Zenith, the Chronomaster. I mean, like Sanjay's AD was really good, and we did like a three-way deal to kind of make it happen. So to me, this is like the ceiling for now. I mean, I don't think I can actually pay retail like for a Chronomaster Sport. I wouldn't be comfortable doing it.
Mhm.
Mm. Just
Although
like,
I did pay retail for the Lake Sua when I had it, so
yeah. I mean, that was really special though, right?
yeah.
Aren't they all?
I mean, it's gone now, but yeah, it was special.
Is it the SLGA 009? No,
In Super
Double 007.
007.
Seven.
007. Well, Mr. Legs,
I'm next.
yeah, what do you think is unattainable from your point of view?
Well, yeah, I mean it's an interesting question, and how do I play this game, right? I don't want to I don't want to play the lottery game because that's too easy. Like,
Yeah.
in my with my economic situation at the moment, what is unattainable for me. I'll tell you a couple of watches that I really, really love, and don't see me ever getting them because I couldn't afford them.
Mm.
And maybe if I saved up for 5, 6, 7 years, I could. But at that point, I'm like, there's so many watches from now to then that would have, pique my interest, or, I probably could have, put the money to better use for the family and whatnot. Anyway, guilt, right? Guilt gets in a lot of way. But I mean, when we were in Watchbox earlier in the year, like around April or so, and Wolfie was there, and a couple of guys at the chat were there. I got to try on that MBNF. I think it was the HM10 or XHM10, and I was really, really blown away by that watch. That was just gorgeous, and it kind of and yeah, I'm not gonna go down that route because I don't want to open up that kind of worms, um, but that watch is just completely gorgeous. I also big fan of the Zeitwerk as well. But what scares me about the Zeitwerk is, like, you save up, you get to that point of picking one up, right? And then you got to maintain it, right?
Mm.
So like the maintenance costs on those things are just bananas. You know,
Yeah.
not the Bulldog. It was more like if you look up HMX, I think.
HMX?
Yeah, that might be. I forget the exact model number. I know there was guys in the chat who were there who may know. Yeah, yeah, that kind of like that first. Those right there
This
that you
one?
have your mouse over. Yeah. Um, just really really awesome looking watch. So what am I comfortable? I would just say, like, what my threshold would be. Uh, in the foreseeable future. It's not much higher than where I'm playing right now. But you mentioned the Green Jacket as like being your kind of like your ceiling,
Yeah.
and I would say, like, something like a Brigade Tradition, like a pre-owned Brigade Tradition. I mean, that's a beautiful watch, and a lot of our friends, or some of our friends, are picking those up right now, and it's kind of hard not to, like, really get into that. I don't know. I mean, a watch that I wanna get, and I hopefully have the opportunity in the next like 6 or 7, 8 months, is a Pepsi, right? And so those are creeping up again in price. I think they went up to, like, they're over 11 now, right? In USD, and you add tax to that, I mean, that's like, oof, man, I never spent that much on anything that wasn't a car or a house. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right.
So, and even that is, I'm sweating it. Now, the upside of the Pepsi is that as soon as I walk out of it, it potentially could be worth double, what I pay for. So that
Right.
kind of like, mitigates the angst a little bit. Um, but unattainable to me will be anything over a pre-owned Brigade tradition, right?
Hmm.
And so, is it technically attainable? Yes. But or anything above that is technically attainable. Um, be it all that if it's available, right, and not hard to get, and the anxiety over wearing something on my wrist for that much price. So there's a lot of roadblocks that are in there, and to Wolfie's point earlier on, like we I've set these limits. Technically, these are obtainable watches, but I'm setting these limits to make it unattainable.
Hmm.
And so, that's
You did look at, like at watch time, you still do enjoy, right? You looked at some of the,
oh
the
yeah,
you still enjoy just trying them on and looking at.
yeah, yeah, of course. And I think I'm perfectly happy with that being it for me with that. Do you know what I mean? Like getting to try on some of these pieces, like it's almost like meeting like your childhood, um, favorite athlete, right? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, it's just like getting to meet them. You
It's like going
probably,
to Comic-Con or something. That's what it's
yeah,
kind of like. You get to like meet these people and maybe shake
yeah,
their hand and talk to them
yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe take a picture and that's it. You don't
Right,
bring them home with you now for like the
right,
rest of your life and theirs, right?
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So, yeah, no, I do enjoy Wolfie. I mean, we had a great time. We went up to that secret room upstairs and we saw an Along and Zahn. I mean, they had their setup up there, and that was awesome too. But I mean, like that's just I mean, that's crazy stuff for me. You know what I mean? I can't go there in my mind just yet.
Right.
Now, like and to me, and I think Sanjay, you touched on it, and Torrin, like your tolerance, like for many things, right? Not just watches, but your tolerance, gets, you get more acceptable. Things become more acceptable the more and more you're in this hobby. So like $500 was a lot to spend on a watch, and it was 2,000, then it was 5,000, and now I'm talking about 10,000, for a piece that I want to get within the next year. So who knows, you know,
Yeah.
what the future may bring, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just
Well, I
babbled.
mean,
I'm it's like I'm coming out of a blackout. I don't know what I said.
no, no, no. It was all very profound. It wasn't.
Yeah.
You weren't babbling.
So I just like bleh, I just like crap comes out of my mouth, and it's just like what? What?
No, no. All very, very valid points. Especially with the tolerance increasing, which is why it doesn't make sense in being there, right? Coming from $300-400 Seikos and thinking I'm never gonna own a Grand Seiko, to owning a Grand Seiko and looking
Mm-hmm.
beyond, and still limiting myself, saying, "Hey, the Streamliner is my absolute limit." Um, I still,
Yeah.
I still feel like it would, even though I'm like self-examining here. I feel like like you said with your picks there.
I
I
tried
feel like
Katie's Streamliner, and it was awesome, Sanjay. And I'm sure you'd really like that watch.
yeah, I didn't even
It's
know
so
Katie
good.
had a
It was
Streamliner. Katie,
so
you
good
got
on
a
the wrist.
Streamliner? Yeah.
You
Which
know that.
which one was that?
Green Dragon. She's
Green
got a Green
Dragon.
Dragon.
Oh, she got a green dragon. Oh man. I gotta get a green dragon.
Yeah, I told you've seen it, but you must have moved it out of your mind.
Yeah, maybe. It's a coping mechanism.
Would
Yeah.
you detail a car with wearing that, Sanjay?
I would absolutely
Okay.
detail a car. I am not limiting myself in that again. And it's knowing now that I'm not clumsy enough to bang it onto the car, because that was one of my fears before, that I would actually damage the car while detailing, and that has not happened once. Um, so knowing that I am dexterous enough to navigate around it, and I know when I should take it off. Like if the wheel well is super short or super close, I always take the watch off. Or if I have to stick
Mm,
my hand in a tire or inside a wheel, I'll always take it off. Um, so I know my limits, and so I would never limit myself again. I would wear a brigade tradition and detail a car. Oh, that'll be amazing. Um, yeah. Now I'm just seeing how far I can push the envelope. So
Well, traditions, like Bobby said, pre-owned, same ballpark as the Green Dragon.
yeah, I'm not interested in a tradition though.
Oh.
It was, I'm just um, I'm laser focused on that green dragon. So
Oh, so you're really gonna make that happen?
oh yeah, I probably
Oh,
will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay. All
Green
right.
dragon is like
Because
the
I thought we
grail
were
piece
just
for
talking
me.
here. Okay.
No,
I don't
no.
know. I don't know. Okay.
Green
Okay. So
dragon is
you get a green dragon, and about a month later, you won't have a green dragon. That's
yeah,
awesome.
exactly. That's how it goes. I mean, I hope I'm
You
not
traded for a
overthinking.
Longines, two Grand Seikos, and a
That's
tutor.
probably what happened. Yeah, Grand Seiko is like I said,
And
just it's
Longines.
comfortable, right? It's
Yeah.
so comfortable. It's like what others have with say Rolex or something. There's just a nice place to be in. Yeah, I don't know. But when talking about your maintenance of these really expensive watches, like
Yeah.
we just saw Rick talk about um, maintenance on one of his watches, a Grubel, and man, I nearly fell off my chair singing that bill. It was
Yeah.
I
That's
could
why.
not believe it. It
That's why you can't play we can't play the lottery game here like this, right? I mean, like
yeah,
we gotta be in reality a little bit, right? To honestly play this game, and that has to be a consideration that if your service cost can buy you a freaking Omega, you know,
a car, a Toyota Corolla.
or a Toyota Corolla, right? You know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like that's something like like if it's one of these obtainable slash unobtainable watches that we opine for, we're barely getting there, right? So like I'm barely getting to the Breguet tradition, right? I'm barely
Yeah,
like scraping up for years to get there, and then you're telling me that I got to service this thing and it's going to cost me like 3 grand. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's got to be in the calculus. That's why
yeah,
maybe it's not it's an unattainable obtainable.
Well,
yeah.
Sanjay's cheating the system because you don't own a watch long enough to service it.
There's
Right.
that too, man. I mean, like, it's a Sanchez effect.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
leasing a vehicle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
lease it. You never buy a Jaguar. You lease it. um,
Marcus.
Cover white could be.
Uh,
We got to see this Marcus comment.
uh,
Uh,
that's great.
well, thank you for the super chat, sir. 2 months later, Sanjay's Green Dragon begins my Green Dragon. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you finally got that green jag and you would keep it for longer than a typical watch of yours, right?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
I would think so. I mean,
Mm,
you never know, but
Yeah, you never know. When you get in an accident, you never know what can
yeah,
happen.
Right.
right. Exactly.
Green
Um,
Dragon will be slayed.
right. Joey B saying, I think I'd top out at a Zeitwerk if I win the lottery at this stage of my finances and collecting journey. But then you won the lottery, so yeah. I struggled over. Oh, okay. At this stage, I struggled to go over 10K. I see. Different thought. Sorry. Um, Dan saying Keith would die with 1.99 billion left in the bank.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Give me the 2 billion. Let's see what happens.
Robert, hey, good to see you. It's been a while. Says loves the new Crystal Ward chime watch. It is really nice. I was pleasantly
Yeah, I
surprised.
love that release.
That
Yeah.
looks awesome.
Let's see, Rick saying you're a good guy, Torn. I'm way behind here.
Thank you.
Sam, how's it going, sir? Good to see you. Wilson saying, Torn, tell your brother don't ever change. Yes, absolutely. um, like ultralight if you win the lottery. James saying, if I won the lottery, I would not want to make watch collecting boring by buying everything. Yeah, that's a good point. You lose everything kind of loses value, right? If you have that much money, um, I feel like everything will become kind of disposable. I don't know. I've never had that much money, so
I'd like to find out,
yeah,
really.
right. Junior Johnson here saying I'd start my own watch company.
Hmm.
That
I
is,
don't need the aggravation.
yeah, sounds stressful, but hey, it could be
Plus,
like
I'm
the
not a
next Chopek.
designer.
Yeah, Torin LTD
He's
FTX
still
115. He'll also
I have
take
the
my
117 actually.
S117.
I think,
Um,
but yeah, that's a keeper.
yeah. James saying we love to dismiss value retention, but build enough equity in a collection, and the unattainable can become attainable.
True.
Right.
That's true.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'm gonna jump down here a little bit, and then we'll see what Wolfie and Clayton have to say. Um, Wilson says, "Start with the G Shocks, been downhill ever since." Um, Mark is saying, "Now I feel bad. Enable Sanjay to buy more watches. I want him to get a green dragon."
For selfish reasons.
Right.
Yeah,
No, Marcus, you're great. My pen guru still has that
So
with him.
you're saying it's still on your mind, even though it's discontinued, and I don't even know what the secondary market is like on those now.
Okay, well, I didn't know it was discontinued. Why are you doing this to me?
Well,
When
It's
was it
not
discontinued?
it's not discontinued yet, as far as
Okay.
I
oh,
know, but they announced that it's kind of, I think they said it's gonna be done by the end of this year. So they're
Okay.
gonna produce more until the end of this year, and then it's over. But I bet a lot of money that another one is coming that might not be green, but something else. They can't
Right.
discontinue that model.
Yeah.
It's their
Okay.
top seller.
So it'd be like a mad red green dragon or a
Could
mad red
be,
dragon.
it could be red, blue, who knows.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I can wait for a different color. Like a burgundy green dragon. Burgundy dragon would be a lot better.
burgundy green. Yeah.
Burgundy is my color, so my favorite color, I should say. Wolfie, do you have any thoughts on unattainable? What would you consider? You kind of answered already, but
Yeah, I I set my limits just as everybody else. What I want to spend on one piece. I still sometimes fantasize or consider buying something more expensive than what I usually do, but
yeah,
I never did it. I always basically decided against it for, I talked about it before, basically for the reason that I consider it more enjoyable if I'm able to buy 4 or 5 a year and not just one. So, I kind of in my
mm,
head, I say, okay, am I getting this DB for a lot of money?
yeah,
And how much is that worth to me? And usually I find out in my head it's not worth enough that I basically, go on a sabbatical, like a keys type watch fast for 2 years to make it happen. So
right,
I've never gone two
still,
years.
I still like to look at them if I get a chance, try them on. I love it if a friend is able to, show me one or buys one, and I still enjoy
mhm,
them. You
yeah,
know, still a watch. You can have the same enjoyment out of a Seiko, than a Grubel. If you're into the hobby and if you collect Seikos, for example, that's my opinion.
yeah. I agree. Our friend Rick would probably agree as well, who has that specific disparity in value in the collection.
Yeah, we can
Um,
send, maybe for his birthday. We'll gift him a Seiko, and he'll find
yeah,
out the
Seiko
experience.
5, right? Or the rowing blazers, Seikos, or Borealis. No, that's
Yeah,
just
but to be real, it's all a mental thing, happening. So the joy doesn't come from value. It's what's going on in our heads
yeah,
only.
Right.
yeah. So you've always been willing to not willing to try, but you've kind of how do I put it? So for me, again, it's more of a don't want to be blown away and then disappointed kind of mindset is what I have, right? Um, is you, have you really experienced that, Wolfie, in your lifetime at all?
What do you mean, like that I bought something expensive and it
No,
didn't?
no, like you tried something super crazy expensive and then you're bummed out because you can't have it. Like,
No,
uh,
no, no.
no?
That never happened to me. I, you
Okay.
know, a a good example is my wife. It's probably most females. They
Yeah,
go into a store, they pick whatever. Oh, this is nice. A
yeah,
bag, whatever, jacket, shoes.
yeah,
And my first thing is always, well, how much is it? And she tells me, I don't know. And I tell her, well, what the hell? I mean, if it's a $10,000 shoe, why you even look at it? So in my head, it's already clear. I look at it knowing that I'm not going to buy it anyway. So it's
yeah.
never a disappointment. It's not like I'm dreaming and I'm having it. Oh, it's so nice. Damn it, I can't buy it. That never happens to me.
Okay. See, because
So,
this has been
Katie,
on my mind enough that I'm actually kind of talking to my kids about it and kind of training them in a way. Like we'll go to the toy store and I'll say, "Hey, kids, we're not buying anything today." Right? And we'll look at all these toys. My son loves dinosaurs. My daughter loves Polly Pockets. And we'll look at these extravagant setups that they have there, and be like, okay, I'm trying to train them to appreciate it without having to own it, because in my head, like I don't like I don't even want to look at, say, that gold Grand Seiko or the Green Dragon. Someone has to actually put it in my hands. I'm never going to ask to look at it because I kind of put it at arm's length because I feel like I'm going to be bummed out. But I kind of want the people to be able to appreciate something of artistic value, but still say, hey, be happy with the fact that they can't have it or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but
would it actually? I mean, I don't have that. Even let's say, even if I saw a crazy house, or I see people fly in private planes, or I see a Ferrari or something, it never
but
made me think like, damn. I mean, maybe I thought I'd like it, but it didn't bum me out in a way that I thought, God damn it, you know.
I mean, like it's got to be something you love, though, right? Like watches. We love watches, right? Which is why, like with my son, he loves dinosaurs, and daughter loves Polly Pockets. We love watches. Like I love Grand Seiko. If I see the Kodo, like the Constant Force Tourbillon, I'm gonna like, oh, look at that! It's just magnificent. What am I supposed to do with myself now? So that's kind of how I feel. Um, but like if I see someone with a private jet, I'm like, oh, whatever. Hey, good for him. Um,
I
or
don't.
or beautiful house. I don't care about houses. Someone has a beautiful house. I'm like, oh, yeah, hey,
In my
that's
head,
that's
probably
great.
what happens is, I immediately move on. I kind of, like with
Right.
the DB, Katie and me were lusting over the DB. Bobby was there at Watchbox,
Yeah.
and it was ridiculously
Yeah.
priced, aftermarket price, ridiculous. But it takes a few seconds. I'll move on. Well, there's other nice things, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
There's so many great pieces starting at few hundred, or Longines, few $1,000.
Yeah.
Why
You
why you know
and you don't ever really sell, do you, Wolfie? Like rarely, right?
really, only like the chronographs are sold
Yeah.
because bothered me.
Yeah.
Might
Competition you don't
change
use.
in the future, who knows? But
Yeah. How about you, Clayton? Sorry I kept you waiting this
Oh yeah,
long.
gosh, no problem. It's interesting to listen to everybody's perspective, and just be careful taking your kids into the watch store because they may use that trick on you. Dad, we're not buying anything today, right?
Right.
uh,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm on the list for a Milgauss, and I think right now that's tip top. What was that, about nine ish and
Is
change,
it?
and with tax close to 10.
Mhm.
That's the limit where I'm comfortable right now.
Mm.
Um, but if I were to go above that, I would go into weird. I would go into weird things like Beta 21 Pateks and like just
Oh,
weird watches. The Texan from Rolex or something. Like like I like Keith said it earlier. Like I don't know enough about Breguet and other watches to like enough to appreciate them.
mm,
I admire them. I just haven't taken the time to learn about them because they are so far removed from what I can afford and what like you said we can save for. Gosh, the watches I have now were once way unobtainable to me, so anything's possible, right? Um, but they're just so far removed from my mindset that I don't take the time to read about them, and I can appreciate them from afar, but I don't know intimately about them, right? So the
right.
watches I am interested in and like I have learned about are just like the old quartz watches, the Beta 21s that all the Swiss to try and beat Seiko, they all joined together to like make this one movement, and they put it in. It's in everything from Longines to Patek, and I would love to collect all those. I think
Yeah.
that's what gets me excited. So if I had if I had money to go above my comfort zone spending, it would be going down some weird rabbit holes, I think.
Yeah.
And I
So
think that
you,
would be fun and would probably take a long time and a lot of research. And
yeah.
so you could accumulate money to do that, save up. So,
Yeah. You kind of have to
yeah,
dedicate yourself to that.
right,
Wow.
right.
Yeah. So have you ever had the roadblock of trying something on just because it's so unattainable? Do you have the feeling of, hey, I don't even want to
I,
look at that because it's,
um, so I've tried on a few. I've tried on an AP Royal Oak. I've tried on a Nautilus. I tried on a Nautilus chronograph that so where I bought my Omegas. Those guys used to be Rolex dealers, and they have Newman Daytonas in the safe. I've tried them all on, just seeing these incredible watches. But he had a Patek. I think it was like a Nautilus chronograph or something. That was just. I looked it up when I got home. It was like retail value or aftermarket value, and I was like over 150K, and I was just like, wow. Just being able to try those on, it doesn't upset me that I can't afford it. It's just like cool, like
yeah.
Bobby was saying, like it is sort of like a Comic-Con thing, or it's
Mm.
it's fun that you get to try it on, and that's more than enough for me with those.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
and if
What
I
are,
if I did win the lottery, I would track down one of those solid gold G-Shock squares. That's what I would.
right.
That's what I would do.
Would you get one of those Rolex what's the Beta 21 it's
the
escaping me.
Texan,
Is that a Beta 21 Rolex?
yeah.
Is
What's
because
that?
there was one that was like a perpetual calendar.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah. No, that's a different one. Yeah, I would. Oh yeah, I would get them all. I would.
yeah.
There's so many cool, like even the just oyster courts with their own movements too. There's some really cool ones. Yeah, I think James Dowling had
Yes, he did.
um he had that perpetual calendar. Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, there's so many, like so many, so many brands made them and had cool packaging and everything. Longines had some really cool like electronic style packaging for those. Like if you
Hmm.
can, so I would want one of those with the full kits, which is even harder. So yeah, you can yeah, wasted way too much time kind of reading about those. But that's the unobtainable that I go for, kind of the weirder stuff. I guess I'm not as um, in tune with some of the more modern like unobtainable watches because they are just so far removed from what I can afford.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's go through the chat real quick before calling it a night. Robert H saying, I think unless you are able to comfortably afford the watch you're shooting for and stretch to purchase might always be on the chopping block. Um, it's an interesting comment. Yes, probably right there. Simon, good to see you, sir. It says comfort zone for me. It remains at the 15,000 Canadian mark range. Especially, I tend to buy a few pieces a year. Funnily, I still struggle to spend 25K on one piece, but not much of a problem buying 3 to 4 10K Canadian pieces. I totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about that too, right? Um, Let's Kevin saying easy on the Borealis. Yeah. Um, Kevin, sorry, out of context here. Oh, maybe about the kids, training the kids. It worked out really well, actually. They're getting pretty good at it. Getting pretty good at taking no for an answer. um, let's see. Um, Psychological barrier. It says Simon. Caliber White QG says Wolfie buy a datograph. You totally should buy a datograph, Wolfie.
Chronograph? No.
Yeah.
I do like it.
Yeah. Just
I
the look
think
of it.
I'll buy it.
Calco Basin, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Um, Simon saying, I also like the feeling of getting a new watch, and it seems that I need that excitement a few times a year. 45. Simply wait 18 months and get something 5 times the dollar value. Yeah, very, very similar to what Wolfie was saying there as well. Yeah, the dopamine hit,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you, Mr. Legs. I know it's super late for you now, especially with the time change. So I appreciate you staying up with me. And everyone else as well. Keith, Torn, Clayton, Wolfie. Really appreciate you guys. Wolfie, are you heading back soon? Or
Next week, yeah, we'll head to LA for a day and then we'll fly home. Yeah.
okay, so we might see you a couple more times on a few streams.
Yeah, maybe on Bobby's stream one more time. That should be about it. We're leaving on Saturday, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, we'll good to see you. Bobby really enjoyed last night's Ballon d'Or announcements. And I've been waiting all night to say Ballon d'Or instead of Lucky d'Or. But yeah, that really got the gears turning on my Unattainable watch thoughts as well. So
They did pretty good. The way they predicted, I was super impressed. I
Well,
mean,
Marcus was the man.
but you
He-
too. I mean, all of you
I
guys.
did okay.
yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
how you did that.
Still can't picture myself owning a watch that says crayon on the dial. So but I'll get over it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us all this evening. I really appreciate you all. You are infinitely precious and valuable. Don't forget that. And we mean that. You really are. See you next week. Good night,
See you
everyone.
guys. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.